Dawn, December 26, 2004. As the world slept in the wee hours of the morning of that fateful day, there was a vast churning taking place just under the surface of the earth. The heart of the earth was readying itself to make a statement. An ascending mountain of water crashed upon the land, the life and the heart of a stupefied humanity. The world was shaken from its roots. It was as if the transformative force of Kali had moved with a surgical plunge to destruct and dissolve the rigid, crystallized surface. Towards a new challenge, a new growth, a new realization for the evolution of the human spirit. While there was an unprecedented gush of funds, people and objects for tsunami relief and redevelopment aid efforts from all over the world, we became aware of the more long-term benefits of the work done by some local NGOs, especially Aim for Seva, and decided to collaborate with them in rehabilitation work for the tsunami victims. The Infinity Foundation's reasons for selecting Aim for Seva for collaboration over all others that we looked into were discussed over a fundraiser at the Infinity headquarters at Princeton in February 2005. We as US donors could have direct access to the team doing work in India and to the Aim for Seva leadership without the interference of the Indian bureaucracy. Aim for Seva instilled confidence in us that 100% of the funds donated would go to the Tsunami Village project. We had mutually agreed that NRIs or their children visiting India wanting to do community service would be able to go and get personally involved at their discretion. There is a US-based office, Arsha Vidya Gurukulam, directly involved in the project, which is always approachable by us, headed by Janet Falk. Dr. Krishnan Ramaswamy, Long Island resident, had already helped raise significant funds from other NRI communities for their own projects to be executed by Aim for Seva. On 7th March, Rajiv landed at Chennai and took the overnight train to Coimbatore along with Jay Shankar, who heads the local Aim for Seva projects, and his co-volunteer Sri Vidya. March 8, 2005. From Coimbatore, the team drove to Anaikatti, which is located in the tribal jungles of the Nilgiri Hills and where the Aim for Seva has its headquarters and many projects. Our team stayed overnight at their ashram to get to know their management and see firsthand their other projects that were already mature. We started with the tour of a top-quality hospital that had just been constructed by Aim for Seva, where they offer free treatment to the tribals in 75 surrounding villages. They have a detailed database of every family in every village, including specific needs and issues. Their Green Kawai project, headed by Ramanji, facilitated by an extensive nursery and cultivated land, aims to grow 10 lakh plants for free distribution equal to the population of Coimbatore. He is also spearheading the Jatropha plant project, in which they have already distributed 7 lakh plants over 74 villages. The nursery also grows tomatoes, aubergines, rosemary, guava, Singapore cherry, and other plants. Another Aim for Seva project is their vocational training center, the Manjula Memorial Community Center, where they facilitate self-employment opportunities for women. One of their economic and organic projects is making dishware from the barks of local trees such as the betel nut tree.
But I think I'll eat in this today.
Okay.
Right? So I take this plate. This is biodegradable, made of bark of a tree.
They also make carry bags out of the bark.
I think this has got 2 pockets which it was more.
The women are also involved in producing milk products using 100% organic milk. Rajiv had never before tasted such delicious petas made from fresh organic milk and allowed himself to indulge a bit. Our team spent a considerable amount of time at their youth hostel because this is the kind of project that Aim for Seva would be doing for us. Rajiv was very impressed by the way this boys' hostel was run for poor kids. It was well constructed and operated. He chatted with the boys on a wide variety of topics and found them to be very sharp, well-behaved, enthusiastic and talented. It was encouraging that their top request was for more science and math in the curriculum. At the same time, they were proud of their native identity and culture and performed a moving traditional dance with great enthusiasm. Rajiv then met with Swamini Pramananda and Swami Siddhabodhananda and expressed his concerns over the lack of attention in Indian religious institutions to management structures, communications, the understanding of other religions, and various other issues. Jai Shankar, Srividya and Rajiv met me as I arrived in Chennai on the morning of the 9th to join the party. And from this point on, we were a team of 4 travelling Tamil Nadu's tsunami-affected areas. Each day we covered many villages along the coast of the state, starting in the north and working our way south along coastal roads. We stopped periodically to interview tsunami survivors and hear their stories and to understand their predicaments and needs. Aim for Seva had organized a local boat manufacturing facility near the coast with the distinctive feature that villagers who would be using a given boat were involved in its design and as participants in the construction.
This is more user-friendly in the sense that the people who are going to use it have been participating in the design of these boats.
Yes.
Whereas a boat you just order and give to them, they may not use it because it's not for their needs. And also,
why? Not only that, the sea is different in different areas.
Yeah.
Here it's very rocky.
Yeah.
So the boat has to be very strong and the base has to be strong because when they reach the boat, it just hits against the land.
Yeah.
So they need a very strong base for the boat.
Right. One of the distinct features of Aim for Seva is local knowledge. Get the users involved in designing and supervising and being part of the construction process to make sure that the boat is the kind they need.
It's a 30-feet boat and it has 28 stiffeners here.
What you are seeing now is the mold of the top portion of the boat, and the top portion of the mold, it has 3 pieces, and they have already applied a mixture of a pigment which is red in color, accelerator and a gel coat, and they have applied it and it has to dry for an hour. After it dries for an hour, they will place the fiberglass mat on top of this, and you see them laying the mat. There is a mat already on top of this, and again they will apply a gel coat, and like this they will place 4 layers of the fiberglass mat. After this has been laid, they will leave it dry for a day. Then later, the next day, they will remove it from the mold and place it in the bottom portion of the boat. Now you see them laying the top portion of the back side of the boat. It is with this steel pipe they carry the boat and leave it on the sea. Aim for Seva has provided a stainless steel pipe for the boats in Kovalam.
We are planning to provide 48 boats because there were 48 boats here already, and we are only providing boats to those people who have already owned a boat and they lost. The manufacturers say that, even the villagers, they agree that they have never made a boat like this in their life, and they say this boat will face any tsunami hereafter. Even if their houses break, their boats will never break.
Why do you think this boat is good for you? Why it is better than the other boats?
This boat having foam, inside foam. The life safety. When people going broken also boat, their life safety will come back to home.
So even if it breaks, it will be floating,
Floating,
and it will come back.
come back.
Won't sink.
Yes.
That's good.
Among the Aim for Seva adopted villages we visited were those that had been worst hit, including Pasyavaram, Idamani, Nagapattinam, Akaraipetai, where 2,000 people were killed and 10,000 made homeless. We also visited Seradur village, which Infinity has now adopted for its own youth hostel project in collaboration with Aim for Seva. We then visited Velangani village with a very active Christian evangelism campaign. It was interesting to see how it garbed itself with an Indianized facade.
What about the very big church there? What is the name of that church? The big
church node per Saint Arogyamada Church. Arogyamada. Christ Church, Velangani Church.
Velangani Church. What is Velangani Church?
Velangani is the place.
Okay. That's the name of the town?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the church called? Saint?
Arogyamada.
Arogyamada.
Mata means mother.
Mother. Arogyamada. Saint Arogi. What is Arogi?
Health.
So, Health Mata. Saint Health Mata.
We stayed overnight at a village called Manjakudi, which is Swami Dayanand Saraswati's birthplace. It was very impressive to see so many educational institutions that had been recently built by Aim for Seva in a tiny village to transform lives through education. We toured Swami Dayanand Higher Secondary School, Narasimhan Swami Dayanand Primary School, Padma Narasimhan Vocational Training Institute, Arsha Vidya Ved Pathshala among these institutions. There seemed to be heavy emphasis here on teaching science and technology.
Business administration.
Very good.
MCOM.
So you create people with good job potential.
BSc Mathematics, BSc Chemistry, MSc Physics, MSc Chemistry. Only postgraduate level, only 3. MSc Chemistry, MSc Physics and MCOM.
In a conversation with the Pandit at Arsha Vidya Ved Pathshala, we learned how knowledge was transmitted and retained orally as per traditional methods.
और ये 10 साल के लिए जो सीखते हैं ये कैसे आप सिखाते हैं? ये तो एक तो रिसाइट करते हैं
नहीं, ये अभी तो चैंटिंग चालू है।
हाँ जी।
लेकिन मैं एक बार बोलता हूँ, वो 2 बार बोलते हैं। ऐसे मैं 10 बार बोलूँगा,
हाँ जी।
10 दिन कंटिन्यू। तो उसके बाद उनको बोलने के लिए आ जाएगा वो वाक्य जो कुछ भी है वो। उसके बाद वो खुद पढ़ते हैं छोटा पीसेस लेके, वो 10-10 बार बोलते हैं। वो 10 बार यानी ये 20 बार हो गया, वो 10 बार 100 बार हो गया, 120 बार बोलेंगे तो वो पक्का उसके दिमाग में बैठेगा।
जी हाँ। और ये इस तरह से सारे मंत्र सीख
लेंगे। सारे मंत्र सीख।
और इनको रिचुअल भी सिखाते हैं आप?
हाँ, रिचुअल भी सिखाते हैं, लेकिन पहले अभी तो चालू है।
जी हाँ।
3 साल के बाद रिचुअल का वो सब धीरे-धीरे से करेंगे।
और जो
खाली वो कर्म सिखाते, हर कर्म कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, पूजा आप एक एग्जांपल लीजिए, पूजा कैसी करनी है, पूजा वो भी सिखाते हैं हम, लेकिन अभी नहीं, 3 साल के बाद।
What came across overwhelmingly in our discussions with villagers was that the work done by Aim for Seva was far beyond merely physical aid. It helped in rebuilding self-respect and a sense of identity among the villagers and their children with counseling, education, spiritual teaching and above all, personal attention and compassion.
All over the other branches, people began to ask that they want facilities, that we want a school, we want a hostel, we want this and so on. So we formed this Aim for Seva. We wanted that work should be done mostly by people who are not professionals, but people who are devoted, dedicated to service. And fortunately, Saraswati has got a large number of sannyasis.
Yes.
And
they are good grounding in Vedanta.
Right.
Yeah.
They are doing very good work.
In the help that Christian NGO was giving you and Aim for Seva.
For Seva giving our life, change our life.
Many surprising facts came out loud and clear from our meetings with villagers in the tsunami-affected area.
Things that people send thinking they're helping.
They don't want those things.
Why?
They don't want this.
They don't want these
clothes. They don't want.
They came here. They used to stitch some clothes, but it's not a very active and.
Working means not the correct work, not comfortable work. This is only banner, you know. The banner.
Put their
They
banners.
just put the banners here.
So tell me what they do. They're not helping you. They're just putting banners.
Little bit help. They give them some notebooks and bag.
Okay.
And take the tuition class. You know, teacher only 9th standard.
Okay.
She not teaching to other standard.
Okay.
So only not.
This is the season wise they do. This season they catch different fish at different type, different time of year. And they use different nets also for different fishes.
The tsunami was experienced largely as a surface event causing great destruction. Yet it was really a deeper event shaking the earth from the ocean floor. Was it Kali's shock to compel us to excavate the truths buried under our layers of self-deception? The tsunami temporarily exposed 6 other temples under the ocean and permanently exposed several deities that had been hidden under the sandy beach. The famous monolithic carvings of Mahabalipuram are considered archaeological artifacts as if of a dead culture and are under the control of unreligious federal bureaucrats.
Puja here. Why can't we do puja in all the temples?
பூஜை எங்க பண்றோம் அதுவும் கோவில் தானே மத்த இடத்துல இப்போ அங்க சிவன் பார்வதி அதான் ஏன் இல்லை He says it's a monument so we are not supposed to worship it.
But the monument is a puja temple.
அது கோவிலா தானே இருந்தது அப்புறம் ஏன் monument அது கோவில monument-ஆ மாத்தி இருக்காங்க They have changed the temple into a monument.
So there is a law against rule against puja. No law. So if a lot of Hindus go there, start doing puja one day, what will they do? They will release it.
எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து போய் அங்க பூஜை பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சா என்ன ஆகும்?
அது monument. All right.
The archaeological department will not agree.
Will not agree. So they will enforce.
So this is how they convert the temples into monuments.
So when you convert a temple into monument, it's a dead religion is what they are claiming. That this is not, if this is a murti of Vishnu or Shiva, they are saying it is not a murti, it is a historical dead museum. That's it.
Yes, he says during the Pallava time this was a temple and worship was going on there.
Yeah.
And once the archaeological department came in, they stopped the pujas. Foreigners.
The British stopped it. And so after we became independent, why do we have to continue what the British were doing? You know, we have to say, okay, British don't know anything.
சுதந்திரம் கிடைச்சப்பறமும் ஒண்ணும் பண்ண விடல. Even after independence, they were not allowed to do puja.
Not allowed to. If somebody wanted to do puja in these old temples, what happened? Not allowed. Why? No, but every temple was built for a certain purpose. Yes. It was built for puja. Yes. So when we pull the British out, we back our own temple. So why aren't we able to do puja?
Yes, what they told the archaeological survey of India, these are all monuments. No for worship.
So they have removed the spiritual meaning out of it and said it is archaeological.
So all over the world, people coming to visit historical places.
Yeah, but you know, I want your opinion on this. When the people, if you come closer, our sound will be easier. When the people conquer somebody, yes, then they say that their religion is not real. It is not real. It
is false. So then they take those monuments, those religious sites, and they say that these are just for the museum.
Yes.
They are for the museum.
Yes.
Which means it's a dead religion.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you say it is for a museum, it's not a living religion.
Yeah.
Which means it's a dead.
Yeah.
So now when the British came and various people came who were not Hindus, it was okay for them to say this must be dead religion. So we respect it as a monument only, like a museum.
Yeah.
Right. But for us, it is not a dead religion.
Yeah.
Right. So for us, it is a living religion.
Yes.
So when somebody says that this is not to be worshipped, it is an insult because they are saying my religion is dead. So what do you think of that?
In contrast, Chidambaram's famous temple complex has been under the uninterrupted control of a group of Brahmins for many centuries and is a living, functioning temple of great vitality and energy. Why are the Mahabali temples not similarly operational under the control of the living Hindu tradition? Villagers have adopted government-assigned caste identities that are based on British classification of Indian society since the 19th century censuses. This social engineering is built on disempowering identities like most backward caste, etc. The deeper reality, however, is that the Jati identity hides beneath the surface and shows up with pride only once there is comfort and trust to allow it to come out. It has been the fabric of each community, providing social security, identity, sense of heritage and continuity.
His father was a priest. After his father died, now he is doing the puja. எத்தனை வருஷம்? நீங்க பண்ணி 50 வருஷம். He is here for the past 50 years.
So which jati are you from? What is the jati?
எந்த ஜாதியில இருந்து நீங்க வந்திருக்கீங்கன்னு கேக்குறாரு. Vanniyas.
What is that?
Vanniyas is a jati.
Most backward.
Most backward. Yeah.
So it is not Brahmin. It is not Kshatriya. No?
Kshatriyargal illa Vanniyargal.
So most backward. But you're Hindu. You're happy to be Hindu. Good. Good.
Translate.
He is happy to be a Hindu.
Translate to him.
அவர் வந்து ரொம்ப சந்தோஷப்படுறாரு. நீங்க ஹிந்துன்னு சொல்லி பெருமைப்படுறீங்கன்னு நினைச்சு அவர் சந்தோஷப்படுறாரு.
So I want to ask you that some people say, some intellectuals and scholars say that only Brahmin can be priest, but low caste people are not allowed to, or other castes not allowed to. Ask him what is his experience. Is he respected? Is he respected as the priest of this place, and his father also, even though they are not Brahmins?
இப்போ வந்து ஒரு சிலர் சொல்றாங்க பிராமணர்கள் ஐயருங்க மட்டும்தான் பூஜை பண்ணலாம், மற்றவங்க எல்லாம் பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க வெளியில. ஆனா இப்போ நீங்க பண்றீங்க, உங்களுக்கு வந்து அதனால ஏதாவது மற்றவங்க உங்களை மதிப்பு இல்லாம எல்லாரும் உங்களை மதிச்சிருக்காங்க. He had no problem. Everybody respected him. His father also.
So the question for the intellectuals is, where does this come from? That whenever there's an instance that a non-Brahmin was not allowed, that becomes international news. But a normal temple, and one of the ancient, most important Hindu temples, not only today, for 50 years, the priest has been what the government classifies as low caste, but he calls himself, a full-fledged Hindu, and the people respect him. But before him, it was his father, who was also from that same community. So this is a very kind of a false myth that the Hindus, there is this hierarchy, and the Brahmin is a priest, and the other can't be a priest. Because here we have a priest who is not a Brahmin. His father was also the priest here. He was also not Brahmin. Yeah, very good. So you can tell him my point.
அவர் ரொம்ப சந்தோஷப்படுறாரு. ஏன்னா வெளியில இருக்கிறவங்க எல்லாம் வந்து யாருமே அந்த மாதிரி இருக்க கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லும்போது என்ன பண்றாங்க? ஆர்க்கியாலஜில இருந்து சம்பளம் இல்லை. The archaeological department is not paying him the salary properly. Only the tourists are paying him.
The archaeological department do not like the idea of puja because they have this weird idea of secularism, which means you destroy the religion. And therefore, why would they pay someone? Because they may be accused of promoting Hinduism because they're paying a priest. That is the state.
Modernity has imposed a notion of progress which has brought alienation from traditional spirituality, rituals and narratives.
So do the people in your jati feel that if they become less like the jati, then they are considered superior, more progressive. Is that your idea?
அதாவது அந்த மாதிரி சேஞ்ச் ஆனா நம்ம வந்து கொஞ்சம் superior.
என்ன இல்ல இல்லன்னா சொல்றாரு.
It's just an influence. It's not because we feel superior, but they see them wearing and they also imitate what the city people are wearing.
Actually, that is not good. And இது இருக்குது, we don't like it. That people also now they will understand we are changing. அது தெரிய ஆரம்பிச்சிச்சு. அதனால
He says now people have slowly started realizing about their culture.
Do they think of themselves as Hindu or not?
உங்களை நீங்க ஹிந்துக்கள்னு நினைச்சுக்கிறீங்களா இல்லையான்னு கேக்குறாரு. அப்படிதான் நினைக்கிறீங்களா? நீங்க என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க?
He is not sure.
இளைஞர் ஒருத்தர் இருக்காரு. அவர் சிரிக்கிறார்.
What does he say? No, ask him.
நீங்க சொல்றதா வேணும்னு கேக்குறாரு.
ஒன்லி இந்துக்களுக்கு தான் வந்து நல்ல ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுவாங்க.
இவர் பேர் வந்து கண்ணன். அதனால கேக்குறாங்க. பேரு கண்ணன்.
ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம் அதான்.
இவர் கண்ணன்.
வந்தோடனே கண்ணல அதான் பட்டுது.
இவர் பேரு கண்ணன் மேடம். அது அவர் எங்க இருந்தது நல்ல ஸ்டைல்.
ஸ்டைல் அது.
Style. So Christian is the style.
ஏன் அது உங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஸ்டைலா? இல்ல சீரியஸா கேக்குறேன். கண்ணாடி போட்டு ஒரு ஸ்டைலா.
இல்ல மேடம் தெரியாம இல்ல எதுக்காக போட மேடம் தெரியாது.
ஆக்சுவலா நான் சொல்றேன்.
பெருமாளை காப்பாத்திட்டேன் இயேசு காப்பாத்திட்டேன்ற மாதிரி.
இருங்க. அது பரவாயில்லைங்க. அது வேற விஷயம். ஒருத்தர் அந்த மாதிரி பண்றாங்கன்னா ஏன்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னு எனக்கு ஒரு ஆசை, அவ்வளவுதான். என்ன அந்த மாற்றம் சிரிக்காதீங்க பாவம்.
இல்ல மேடம் அதான் நான் சொன்னதா அவனே சொல்லுவான். எதுக்காக போட்டேன்னு தெரியாது.
இல்ல யாரு போட்டா? நீங்களே வாங்கி போட்டுட்டீங்களா?
வாங்கி போட்டுட்டேன்.
I think this means they are modern, you know. And if they wear a home, they will tease them as you are a sannyasi.
So he's the only one Christian or other people are?
He's not a Christian.
He just wearing for fashion. Fashion.
Because rich people, rich men.
But tell him that in America we have this fashion.
அவர் அமெரிக்கால இருந்து வந்திருக்காரு. அமெரிக்கால என்ன ஃபேஷன் பாருங்க.
This is the fashion.
சரியா? ஆனா நம்ம நாட்டுல
it's fashion, big fashion.
அத சேம்.
Yeah.
அவரான ஹிந்து என்ன?
Yet we noticed that each jati reveres its own unique manifestation of the goddess, which is at the very heart of identity, meaning, sense of heritage and protection.
Before fishing you do puja.
Puja means not
yeah, I understand.
Things
yeah.
Pray to
They
God.
will make a murti out of the sand
only.
Oh, really?
I'll give you the picture. It's very
So you make a murti out of the sand.
Sand and some
camphor, kumkumam. They will offer kumkum. And then they will have this agarbatti, and then the camphor light.
And you do this before you go?
Banana and some sweet.
Good.
It is written, Shri Kannika Parmeshwari Tunai. Tunai means the goddess is always with us.
It is obvious that Hinduism is being harmed from outside attacks by missionaries. Yet, it is also being harmed because of a certain ignorance and rigidity from within which needs to be excavated.
कितने साल यहाँ
कम से कम 10 साल तो पढ़ना चाहिए। एक वेद का अध्ययन पूर्ण करने के लिए 10 साल लगेंगे।
एक वेद का?
एक वेद।
और आप कितने वेद सिखाते हैं?
मैं एक ही वेद सिखाता हूँ।
कौन सा?
कृष्ण यजुर्वेद सिखाता हूँ।
हाँ जी?
कृष्ण यजुर्वेद तैत्तिरीय शाखा सिखाता हूँ।
और ये वेद सीखेंगे और उसके अलावा और कुछ भी सीखेंगे?
हाँ, संस्कृत व्याकरण वगैरह सब सीखेंगे।
इनको फिर बाद में 10 साल के बाद इनको क्या प्रोफेशन होगा?
प्रोफेशन वो तो पुरोहित चाहिए।
पुरोहित चाहिए।
पुरोहित चाहिए। और वेद पढ़ाने के लिए, वेद स्टडी करने के लिए आगे जाके बहुत उसको स्कोप है।
मगर
अलग अलग विषय है बहुत से।
मगर ये इसके बाद कॉलेज भी जाएंगे?
नहीं।
क्यों नहीं?
कोई जरूरत नहीं है कॉलेज जाने की। मैं क्या तो पढ़ाऊँ, कॉलेज जाने की जरूरत नहीं है।
लेकिन उनको बाकी दुनिया के बारे में नहीं पता होगा।
पता होता है।
कैसे पता होगा?
हाँ, होगा। एक्सपीरियंस से पता होता है। मुझे क्या पता था? मैं 4 कक्षा पढ़ा हूँ, लेकिन न्यूयॉर्क तक 6 महीने रहा हूँ मैं। ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, इसमें एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए बस। जो अच्छा पढ़ेगा उसको फ्यूचर ब्राइट है।
लेकिन जो बाकी देशों का सिद्धांत है वो कैसे सीखेगा?
सीखेगा। इंग्लिश सिखाएंगे ना।
नहीं, मगर इंग्लिश तो भाषा सिखाएंगे ना।
भाषा।
उनकी जो बाकी देशों की फिलॉसफी है, उनका सिद्धांत है, उनका दर्शन है, तो वो हम
जब तक अपना स्टेपिंग स्टोन यानी अपना फाउंडेशन जब तक ठीक नहीं होगा, तो बाकी के बारे में सोचने की जरूरत नहीं। अपना जो फाउंडेशन है हिंदुत्व का, वो ठीक है, क्या इफेक्ट हो जाता है, उसको मूंछ आने लगती है, दाढ़ी आने लगती है।
देखिए ये बीज मंत्रा भी करती है, वेद मंत्रा भी करती है। देखिए
मैंने सीखा है, अपने दादाजी से सीखा है, और मैं सिखाती भी हूँ उपनिषद और वेद भी सिखाती हूँ, और मंत्र बोलती भी हूँ, और कैसेट्स भी हैं मेरे।
अच्छा।
अब बहुत सालों से बोलती हूँ, तो मैं तो अभी भी औरत लगती हूँ।
तो इसका नाम भी श्रुति है, इसका नाम ही श्रुति है।
आप क्या है कि शॉर्ट टर्म में सोचना गलत बात है।
हाँ।
आप लॉन्ग टर्म में सोचेंगे प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है।
जैसे ओम है, ओम तो प्रणव मंत्र है, वो ब्रह्म से मिलने का है, तो वो सिर्फ पुरुषों को क्यों है अधिकार? स्त्री भी तो ओम
वही तो बताया मैंने कि ये पुरुष तत्व है।
हाँ।
सब बीज मंत्र पुरुष तत्व है, उसमें भी कहीं स्त्री तत्व वाले बीज मंत्र है।
हाँ।
लेकिन
पर
वेद मंत्रों जो देंगे,
ओम सिर्फ पुरुष तत्व नहीं है, ओम तो पूरा ब्रह्मांड है।
ओम की बात अलग है, वेद मंत्र की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ। शास्त्र और ये जो संस्कृत और ये ग्रामर है, जो कोई पुराण है, वो अलग चीज है। वेद मंत्र अलग चीज है।
और जो शक्ति मंत्र होते हैं, जैसे बीज मंत्र होते हैं, क्रीम,
वो तांत्रिक है, वो तांत्रिक है। वैदिक जो उसमें जो मंत्र आते हैं वैदिक, जिसमें संहिता, ब्राह्मण और आरण्य तीनों ग्रंथ है, उसमें जो मंत्र आएंगे वो पढ़ाना गलत है।
नहीं, जैसे हम अग्नि को बुलाते हैं, अग्नि नए सुपरकार आए,
उस आग आप रिसाइटेशन करेंगे, अगर हम करेंगे उसमें बहुत डिफरेंस है। आप बिना स्वर से कहेंगे।
नहीं, मैं स्वर से कहती हूँ। नहीं, ठीक है, तो अगर स्वर से हम कहते हैं ये उदात अनुदात लेके,
यही तो बात मैं कहना रहा।
क्यों नहीं? क्योंकि
नहीं, वो जो आघात है, स्वर के जो आघात है, आपके बॉडी पे आघात है।
किस तरह से?
बहुत आते, ये जरा मामला अलग है, उसके बारे ऐसे बात करना ठीक नहीं है। आप कभी भी आएंगे तो मैं बात करूँगा।
जैसे वेद बहुत सेंचुरीज में लिखे गए, और कुछ जो वेद मंत्र हैं मतलब प्रकृति और ईश और मनुष्य के बारे में बात करते हैं। जैसे यजुर्वेद का जो लास्ट चैप्टर है वो है ईश उपनिषद, ईशावास्यम इदं सर्वम्। तो उसमें तो हम बता रहे हैं कि ईश और पुरुष के बीच में क्या संबंध है और ईश क्या है, तो वो स्त्री क्यों नहीं बोल सकती?
वो ईशावास्य उपनिषद देखेंगे आप तो खैर वो तो अलग चीज है,
पर वो यजुर्वेद का अंश है।
उसमें भी क्या है जो थोड़ा अलग चीज है। एक्चुअल मंत्र में नहीं आते।
एक्चुअल मंत्र क्या होता है?
ठीक है, वो संहिता मंत्र है। अगर स्क्रिप्ट आपने देख कर दिखाना जो दिखाया,
मतलब तो आप ये कह रहे हैं कि यजुर्वेद के मंत्र स्त्री कह सकती है?
स्त्री मंत्र कहना गलत है। जिसको स्वर है वो स्त्रियों का अधिकार अभी तक तो दिया नहीं।
हमने ले लिया। We had undertaken this trip in order to understand efforts towards the rebuilding and transformation of a devastated humanity. We discovered that this journey of March 2005 had changed our lives forever. It had compelled an excavation into our deeper layers, pushing us to reinvent ourselves, to reach out to the innermost core of our being.
धीरे 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 चलना, जिंदगी की लौ पे चलना।